Hey guys, it's Brian again with another ceiling fan video. What I have for you here is one of my top childhood fans of all time. I have been looking for this fan for a very long time, ever since I mistakenly parted with the first one that I had. This is a 42-inch Northman Hugger from the 1980s. It's white with stencil blades with an integrated schoolhouse single globe light kit. Black motor. It has your typical pull chains that are found on these little Northman Huggers, although these are also found on CEC products. So I don't know if there's maybe a correlation between the two or collaboration, whatever. Anyone who can shed some light on that one. But these are the pull chains that are typically found on these Northman specific Hugger fans and CECs. And this is not a CEC, this is a Northman. I verified this one. The blades on this fan are not original. They actually came off of another Northman Hugger, courtesy of my friend Nicholas Dixon, that actually came through my friend Tori Ailes. And back to me, this is not the motor specifically, this is just the set of blades. I let Tori keep that particular Northman fan, and I got this one off of Marketplace. But this is pretty much my childhood fan. So I'll tell you the story here in a minute. First, we're going to demonstrate it on the kilowatt meter with the fan off and the light on. It is drawing 0.12 amps. So pretty low amperage draw. I'll show you what the fan looks like without the light being on. Yes, the blades are slightly different color than the motor itself, but I really don't care. This is exactly how my childhood fan looked from what I can remember. I love this pattern of stencil. This is what I call Encon stencil because Encon was the first company to use this particular pattern. And my childhood fan was actually the first time I ever saw this pattern, and funnily enough, the two fans that were in that house were this one and the 52-inch Alaska that has the what I call Casablanca stencil on it. So my first exposure to ceiling fans was actually with two different types of stencil. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn the light back on and I'll demonstrate the motor on low. It's basically your generic 3-speed 42-inch Hugger fan. Not really anything special about it except for the fact that it is a major childhood fan. And the story is that the same woman who used to babysit me before I was old enough to go to preschool when both my parents worked, she had that 52-inch Alaska in her dining room, my #1 childhood fan, the AC 4152. She had one of these in her bedroom. And of course, I was still little enough that I still had to take naps during the day. So I remember taking naps in her bedroom on her bed, her and her husband, or her husband's bed, and watching this fan, spin because she knew I loved fans. So I have a lot of memories. And that fan always ran on medium in that room. But I do remember trying to mess with the pull chains one time and not realizing that the pull chains were seized. It was stuck on medium. I actually broke one of them off when I was a kid. Not really moving a heck of a lot of air. I mean, it's moving some air for low speed, but not exactly a Hunter original. Let's go ahead and bump it up to medium. Actually, first, before we do that, on low, it is drawing 0.28 amps with the light on, and with the light off, it is drawing 0.19. So we'll go ahead and bump it up to medium while the light's off. Is now drawing 0.27 pretty low amperage draw. And with the light on, it is drawing 0.36. On medium, you can definitely feel air movement. You know, like I said, it's not the strongest fan in the world, but you know, for what it is, it actually moves pretty decent air. All right, let's go ahead and turn the light off again. We'll bump it up to high. Definitely got a little bit of bearing hiss to it, but you can barely hear it. And actually, it's moving quite a bit of air for a little generic 42-inch Hugger. It's actually an impressively strong amount of air. Okay, now let's check the draw. 0.41 with the light off. Wow. Only 0.49 with the light on. Wow, this is a pretty low amperage draw fan. Actually a pretty impressive amount of air that this thing's throwing out. Boy, am I glad I picked this up. There's actually another childhood story surrounding one of these. Now, keep in mind, this fan actually had plain blades when I picked it up. But my childhood best friend in elementary school, he had one of these in his bedroom when I was a kid that had plain blades. So it would have been exactly as this fan came when I bought it. I've seen quite a few of these over the years, both in childhood and as an adult. These are pretty common fans. A lot of the houses that I have looked at in the Brook Park and Parma area, little ranches with basements and the bungalows and stuff, you know, those kinds of houses usually have a lot of these around if they're still installed in like the bedrooms and stuff like that, at least until they got replaced with Littletons or worse. I would certainly rather have this over a Littleton. This is a pretty good fan. I'm really glad I picked this up because now I have my childhood 42-inch Hugger in my collection. So there you have it. That is the 42-inch Northman Hugger. Hope you guys enjoyed. Keep watching. More videos to come.